You start getting up early in the morning, start getting after it, start getting into the mentality where you're utilizing your ability. Every morning I try to wake up and have a morning shake and get my day going and get into a place where we're utilizing our ability and utilizing what we have inside. And one of those ways in which we can warm ourselves up is by getting into the process of it. Yeah. Sometimes some of the biggest challenges that we face off against on a daily basis is starting, just getting that day going, getting that ability in ourselves to believe in who we are within, and to believe in what we can do and what we can become. And so as you start going through challenges, as you're facing off against different things that you might not realize what is going on, if you look inwards, you start to seek out greater things inside of yourself. And as you focus on your inwards journey, as you start to go within, you start to find that what matters already exists inside of you. What matters exists inside of what you want to become already is there. It's a part of you. It's a part of your being, and that the exact moment, the exact manifestation comes from within. And as we focus on what we truly want to become, the exterior becomes a reflection of what we're seeking out inside of ourselves. A long time ago, I used to think that, everything is owed to us, but then I started to look at what comes from within who you are, and I started to ask those kind of questions. What does it mean to be you? What does it mean to go through challenges? What does it mean to face off against things? How do I focus? What do I focus on? Who do I allow to become a part of my vibration? And as I sit here on this mat, as I sit here in this place getting ready in about an hour, preparing the mind to do meditation, might I speak my mind to you? Might I open up yours, that you would start to read things, you would start to study, that you would start to manifest from within who you are. See, a lot of people don't consider the ability to make time for themselves. And a lot of times they're trying to do everything for everybody else, and they lose out on the ability to be who they are inside. First you have to master your morning before you can master your day. And one of those parts of mastering your morning is realizing that you matter. And when you give yourself that kind of time, the universe starts to put things in your place that are meant for you. It starts to put people in your path that will see you prepared. And unless you're in the place to be prepared for those challenges, how can you face off against them with effectiveness? So when you hear this message in the morning, recognize that you're worth it. Recognize that when you focus, you have the ability, that you have the mentality inside of yourself to overcome your challenges. That if you believe inside of who you are, you can overcome challenges that you never thought you could. I focus to a point where your breath and your connection is so much that the manifestation comes from within yourself. And a lot of times we're not focusing on what we do have instead of what we don't have. And so, in the morning, it's a reminder. And, I'm starting to take these cold showers, and, it's not just in the shower that your body starts to warm up. It's afterwards. It's when you're sitting down on the mat. It's when putting in the time to focus on your goals and your abilities within yourself. See, we forget about that part of our mentality, we forget about that part of our ability. And when we start to focus on that part of our ability, when we start to manifest from within ourselves, we have to remember that our challenge is not against other people, it's against who we are inside. It's about those people coming to become a part of our journeys. See, when you are a part of your journey, when you are using your path, the ability to focus on the things that matter inside, when we start working with our internal dialogue, when we start focusing to that point where our breath matters, it doesn't happen overnight, And so when you're looking for answers inside of yourself, you will find them. If you seek things outside of yourself, you will not find what lives inside of you. And so, how do we seek out that person inside of ourselves to where the challenges are truly what's going on inside? That the ability is to be ourselves, that the mentality, it comes from within. And it's a daily struggle to find yourself until you start to recognize that your ability is already within you. It's already within what you have and how you overcome your challenges. See, a lot of people think that it's a place to seek on an outside, that somebody else is supposed to do it for you. Somebody else is supposed to manifest your ability. No. It's what you seek out, how you focus, what you focus into, and how you put your mentality into a process of being, into a process of manifestation. See, what you focus on, you start to become. What you focus into starts to seek out you. When you start to focus on your ability, you start to become enabled. When you start to focus on the ability to overcome challenges, you start to overcome challenges. And a lot of the challenges that we're facing on a daily are just that. They're just the ability to focus on what we want to manifest. And so that's why tools become extremely important. Things like the ability to write things down, like giving yourself time, like exercise, like diet, like writing things, like speaking, like listening to things that are uplifting your mind. The top people in their craft are putting in the time, they're putting in the effort, they're spending the time doing the things other people won't do so that they have the things that others won't have. And so what do you do on your daily that is putting you in that kind of place? What is it that would want you to seek after that kind of reflection? See, that's what it means to me every single day to ask myself this question: is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? It's not that what I'm doing today doesn't matter. It's that, am I focusing on the things that I want to achieve? Am I focusing on the things that I want to overcome? Am I utilizing the gifts, the talents, the abilities, that the Most High God gave to me? And those are the type of questions that I ask myself on a daily basis. And at the end of the day, what happens is we have to look inside of ourselves and start to ask those questions. Because without those kind of questions going on inside of ourselves, then there is no place to look inwards. And it takes who you truly are inside. It takes your ability. It takes your mentality to find a way to overcome your challenges. See, if you allow others to overcome your challenges for you, the only thing that you'll find in the end is that it becomes more challenging. When you seek it out within yourself, when you seek it out within your ability that you can overcome things, that you are a blessing on the face of the planet, that other people benefit by you being here, by the challenges that you face off against and the way that you overcome your challenges. What you do and how you do things, ultimately this defines if you're going to be a leader or a follower. And so if you seek out to lead your life, if you seek out to lead your being, if you seek out to become a light within the universe, seek out already what lives within you. And as you're doing so, the universe will find its way into your being. It will find its way to be positive in the present moment. And what happens very often is we think that the universe doesn't know, it doesn't allow the manifestation, the vibration for the things that we're truly doing and the things that we're truly utilizing to manifest outwards. That when it does that, when it is honest with itself, when it utilizes its being, when it utilizes its ability within you, then you allow the universe to become your friend. And utilizing things like positive and negative forces allow you to be who you are on the inside. And as you focus to that point where the things that are around you and the things that are within you are being utilized by your vibration, then you start to recognize the importance of being who you are. And that's what matters. Matters is the ability to focus past the challenge, focus past the things that stop us from going inwards, stop us from allowing from within out. See, a lot of times we allow the universe to crush us. We allow the things on the outside to be more dominant than what goes on within who we are. We allow what's going on around us to stop the inner communication, the inner peace, the inner ability, the inner focus. And the purpose of this channel is to focus past those points, to focus to the place where we become the reflection of motivation. And that we start to utilize our ability. We start to utilize our mentality, that we become a reflection on the outside, that what's going on is what in our inner work, within our inner being. And if we want to seek out what is inside, if we want to seek out what we want on the outside, first seek out within and allow it to radiate outwards. Allow your focus to guide you in the direction that the universal yield is. That if you give more than you receive, the universe will pay you back. That you have what it takes within yourself to truly be who you are. And so here we are talking about how to focus to that point. What type of things do you put around yourself? What kind of vibration do you seek after? What type of things are you going after on a daily basis? See, it's not just sufficient to have it from the outside. It takes from within who you are for things to happen. It takes from within who you are to manifest from within your being. And so here goes the beginning of that process, the mentality, the ability to open up the mind, to sow the seeds of focus within ourselves, to start to get ourselves back on track. This is the 36th year of blessing. I am grateful to be on the face of this planet for 36 years. The ability for the being, the energy within to vibrate within this inner being. To to be on this planet and to be a son of the Most High God, to have a place to manifest within, to focus to that point where we vibrate and that we have ability. And yes, sometimes it takes time to wake up early to start to make the time within yourself to follow your path. And so here I am doing this today, and I hope that the focus that's put in at 4:30 in the morning puts you in a place where you start to realize your value. You start to realize that if you focus past those challenges, you can become who you are inside. And so as I focus to that point, as I start to put myself in that place, I want to share this journey with you. I want to share this path. I want to share this story. You know, we sometimes put moats around ourselves. We put our castle walls up. We stop expressing who we are within. We shut down our doors and we close ourselves off, and we shut down the joys of life, and we stop focusing on the ability to manifest within our beings. See, becoming aware of who you are matters. Becoming aware of your vibration matters. And so one of those ways that we can open up that part of ourselves is through asking those types of questions. What am I focusing on? What am I putting my energy into? What is it that I'm seeking out after? How am I utilizing my day? What am I putting in my system? What am I breathing? And so here I am in this place, starting to get down with the true ability within oneself, the true ability within one's place, the center, the journey inwards, the journey to a point beyond, a point where we focus to that place where the breath is a inwards journey. See, people forget that focusing is about what's going on inside. Focusing is where you're putting your attention, where you're putting your ability. You know, a lot of people lose sensitivity to that. They get stuck in a pattern. They get stuck in a way where they don't open up their mind. They don't open up their being. They don't find themselves. And so when you start to feel your communication with your path, you will start to recognize something unique. You will start to feel something of a connection. And so when you start to connect on that path with your journey, then others will see you on your path. They will see you as a part of your connection with your being. See, when you look at how simple it is to be yourself and how complicated it is to be other things, then you look inwards. And that part is when we overcome challenge. See, I want you to understand yourselves. I want you to understand that when you are focusing to that point, then you can achieve high levels of success within this universe. And to not look at it as one singular way, but there's multiple forms of wealth within the universe. When you utilize this universe in a way that it is a universal wealth, that your dreams can become possible, that your ability can come to you, then the ability for you to see what you're worth starts to open up. You know, your challenges are in your mind. Your challenges are in your ability to utilize this, human being that you are, to focus to the point where You seek out after reflection. You seek out after what goes on within and radiates outwards. And it's sad when we see people who are not putting in that kind of time, that are allowing themselves to be on an autopilot, that are not growing within themselves, with not understanding their connection, not understanding their ability. And a lot of times we're the ones who disable our minds. We're the ones who disable our ability. And so to how can we start to open up that ability to a point where we have what it takes? See, that's what I'm talking about right now. Do you put in the time? Do you put in the effort? If you want to have something, what do you want to achieve? What are the things that you want to overcome? How do you write stuff down? Do you speak your mind on a daily basis? Do you want things that nobody else can do for you? When you want those things for yourself, when you're willing to eat dirt, when you're willing to sleep on floors, when you're willing to meditate on your dreams, when you're willing to meditate on your abilities, when you're willing to meditate on your manifestation. And so here I am talking about focusing beyond the challenge. I don't just want external things. I want the things that go on within this being. I want the things that nobody can provide. That what is inwards journey radiates outwards. That the inner work starts at the inner mastery. Reflection is an external process. So how do we start to achieve that part? How do you seek out your power, your ability to be yourself? You know, a lot of times people think that it's selfish to be yourself until they notice that you're not trying to take from anybody. You're trying to benefit people from going inwards. You're trying to benefit people from believing in yourself. That when you're selfless, the universe can utilize you. See, we've been taught that looking at yourself and realizing that what you have inside is who you are is selfish. When you look within who you are and you radiate outwards, you will start to see the things that are meant for your journey. You will start to see the things that are meant for your path. And you will start to see the things that are meant for your purpose. And so that is not selfish. That is in fact selfless. You know, when you only need what comes from within and everything around you is a blessing, then people start to see you grateful for the things that you have. The universe starts to react in ways that starts to manifest. The people around you start to see you for something different. Meanwhile, what's going on inside is you are becoming yourself. See, when do we start to embrace that? When we start to embrace who we are inside, that the people around us see us truly for who we are. Are we focusing to that point? Are we utilizing that part of our being? Are we utilizing that part of our focus? That is the reason why I ask this question every day. Is what I'm doing today, is it motivation? Ask yourself that question on a daily basis. Am I focused? Am I in a place where what I am inside is radiating outwards? Am I what I'm inside becoming? Am I overcoming? Am I finding a way to utilize positive and negative forces within my universe? not somebody else. Don't seek out life for somebody else. Seek out what you want inside of yourself. You know, I have recognized that this is a place that I have seeked out after. You know, it's taken me time to sit down and to analyze and to manifest this understanding, this place of peace where no matter the challenges that we face off against, we can overcome them. This place of peace where what comes from within radiates outwards, you know, and it's a preparation, it's a place of manifestation where you seek your mind. And when you seek your mind, the reflection becomes something where others see your gifts, they see your abilities in being yourself, because all of you are sons and daughters of the Most High. All of you have ability, all of you have mentality. It's the simplicity of using your gifts that matter the most. It's the simplicity of using your ability in ways that nobody else can. That opens you up. You know, I heard a quote from Yogi Bhajan. There are those who love God, and there are those who God loves. Seek to become one that the Most High loves. Seek to become one who has a point beyond where others can understand. Seek to focus with your selflessness, with your ability to have nothing more, nothing less than who I am. That if you accept me for me, it is because who I am inside. And seek that the challenges that you have gone through, the things that you have faced off against, become a part of your path. They become a part of your journey, that the people that are a part of your life understand this. And so, how can you seek out inside of yourself that part? You know, it's not just a singular day. It's not just a singular place. It's to be within you and how you use this path. How do you use this journey? You see, when you find yourself inside, when you start to focus to the point where everything is got to come from within, that's when the true journey starts. The true journey doesn't start when everything is being handed to you. It starts when it comes from within yourself, when it comes from within your being, when what you have inside matters more than the challenges that you're going through on a daily basis. When you become the supplement, when you become the drug of choice, when you become the path, the journey, and the purpose. See, I'm going to start getting back into that part of this journey. See, the manifestation, the path, the purpose that we have is to recognize that we are sufficient, that what we have within is amazing, that what we have within can overcome. And here I sit in front of you all and in this place within of purpose. See, focusing on a selfless journey to find the sands of life, that this path, that this purpose has a place. And so let me go ahead and share a little bit about what it means to go inwards. Your inner connection is an understanding of what your story is, what your path is, the knowledge that you have within yourself, that you have what it takes, that you are a part of this journey. Your journey didn't start yesterday. It started the day that you shared your first breath. It started the day that you went through your first challenge. It started the day that you woke up and you said to yourself, I breathe for the first time. But we forget about that. We forget about every little part of the path that we have. We forget about every little step that we ever took, every curve that we hit, every single thing that we had to fail to succeed. And yet you still walk over the curb. You still remember to pick up your foot. You still remember to believe in yourself. You still remember that knowledge inside of yourself exists. And so what meditation means to me is to find that place where that energy began. Find that place where the first student met that teacher, where you kicked that curve for the first time, where that study started to happen. When you start to see that part, you start to see that you have what it takes to become light, to become not burdened, to overcome the challenges, to decompress the things that you face off against. And so when I look at an inwards journey, when I look at simplicity of breath, I find that the best friend already lives within. The ability inside of ourselves to believe that we can. The ability inside of ourselves to believe that we have inside a great journey that is called life. And a lot of times we forget about this journey. And so if we spend a few minutes on ourselves, on our inner light, on our inner path, then we start to see that this whole life's journey is worth it. We start to see this whole life's purpose is worth it. That what we have within radiates outwards. That when we go inwards, it takes an understanding that the knowledge inside of yourself matters, that you matter, and that you are always growing, that you are always learning. And when we go back to that point where we don't forget that part of ourselves, where we start to study the lessons, the paths, the part of the journey where we are, where the light within matters, then you start to recognize that you matter. And so how do you focus to that place? One of the ways in which I find, which there are many, is to close my eyes in a room and start to get down with the energy within, the ability to stand one's ground, the ability to utilize the human being, to utilize the thought process, the yellow energy, to utilize the heart, the story that my heart has been through, the understanding as well as the relation. To get to that place on this inwards journey where we're able to speak our mind. We're able to put our energy in that place and in that form. And that when we utilize that the depth perception to become aware of what we're doing, to become aware of where we are and what we're facing off against on a daily basis is already there. See, we don't always see or understand our path. And it doesn't mean that we haven't lived a great journey. We can find great joy within studying where we are. We can find great joy within understanding ourselves, understanding the path that we have by spending a little bit of energy on who we are. One of the ways that a lot of people do that is through working out, through lifting weights. One of the things that a lot of people face off against is the energy of anger, the energy of not understanding one's true purpose, the energy of allowing the situation around us to be greater than what's going on inside. And the purpose of this path is to understand yourself, that the only enemy is within. That when you overcome the one that's within, the challenges that you face off against are no longer greater than you. And so that is what going inwards means to me, that the light inside matters. And when we are in that place, it's sometimes dark. In that place, you sometimes study things you might not want to. You might study things that you don't think you can overcome. So what does it mean to find that part of yourself? What does it mean to find that part of your journey? I look at this inner path and this inner purpose as a part of this journey. I look at that inner path and this inner purpose as a part of this life. What does life mean to you? I know this cuts into the universe, but do you spend a little bit of time on yourself on a daily basis where you understand why things happened, how things happened? See, that when you go on an inner field trip, when you start to sit down and study the great knowledge that already lives inside of yourself, you start to remember the reason why you lifted your foot up, the reason why you started to ask the questions, the reason why you started to believe within you. See, a lot of people lose out on that part. And that is self-care. They lose out on the self-ability to become a reflection on the outside, to use that part of their journey. They forget that they're on a field trip, that when we are aware of our challenges, when we are aware of our being, when what we have inside is greatness. Meditation is in many different forms. Breath work is just one form of meditation. Sitting down in lotus is using inner study. There are artists that use inner study. There are painters, there are writers. And the more you utilize your gifts, your talents, your goals, the more you use your inner study, the more you understand your path, your journey starts to have purpose. And inside of that purpose, you start to find the connection between focus and your knowledge. And when it starts to convert between focus and knowledge, you start to find yourself right in between. And in that place between focus and knowledge is you. You are that discipline. You are that place where when you are truly focusing, when you are truly achieving, when you are truly using the knowledge and the lessons and the challenges that you have faced off against, that you start to go from a place of motivation, of meditation, to a centering, to a true centered being, where you understand yourself, you understand that you are unique. When you feel your knowledge and your focus within yourself, when you are in your professions, when you are in your relationships, when you are in your connections, center yourself in your disciplines. Center yourself in your ability, your mentality. See, what does it take to be you? See, that's the type of question that a lot of people forget to ask themselves. When you use those things on a daily basis, when you prepare things in advance, when you succeed in your mentality, when your positivity starts to regulate outwards, when it starts to use your ability, when you start to control your destiny, is when you start to become disciplined. When you start to become much more. And it is at that point where what matters is what's going on inside. I know that what happens within who we are matters more than what's going on the outside. I know that when you are facing off against challenge, when you are going through things that you're not sure if you can overcome, it's what you believe about yourself that matters the most. Often when we go through challenge, we look back and we say to ourselves, I've been through challenges greater than this. I've gone through things that nobody else has gone through. I've been through things that nobody else has been through. But do we forget that we have what it takes? Do we forget that we have a true portion of ourselves that exists within who we are? Do we forget about those people that were so disciplined and with their gifts, their talents, that we forget about ourselves? Or do we see those athletes, those sports that achieve the top status, and ask ourselves, how can we achieve our dreams, our goals, our abilities, our mentalities? How can we seek out things that only we can achieve? And how can we uplift other people along the route? How can we uplift other people to where they start to believe in themselves? See, it's not on day one that things happen. It's not on day two. It's not on day three. It's what you believe about yourself that ultimately manifests. It's what you believe within yourself that ultimately becomes.
Good morning.
And not stopping from believing in you starts to bring your understanding to being. That when you focus and you use the knowledge from within, you can overcome challenges that you never thought you could. I have overcome things that have brought me through a complete circle, complete place to understand karma, to understand life cycle, to understand life path, purpose, and journey. And inside of that place lays discipline, lays present moment, lays ability. We have what it takes to overcome. We have what it takes to go inwards, to use that part of this journey, of this path. You know, as I prepare myself to sit and do some meditation, might we think about that part of the thought process? That it is just a process of being, that whatever you become disciplined in is where you put your focus and your knowledge. Do you spend the time required to be yourself? Is all I'm asking you. To where your whole entire being becomes that. Where your strength comes from where your focus and your knowledge is laid in your daily, in your masteries, and within your being. See, your life's journey is worth it. Do you believe in you? And do you believe in your life path? What comes from within radiates outwards. When it radiates outwards from within who you are, the universe recognizes you as a discipline. Don't throw away that discipline. Don't throw away that part of your being. Use it to uplift other people. Use it to be who you are inside. Use it to manifest. Sometimes what you go through, you might feel is impossible. just remember, impossible is just a word. Somebody had to make it up from their mind. Somebody had to come up with that word. What is possible? Possible is to focus and to use your discipline to make your dreams become true. Possible is the ability to overcome challenges and to use that part within yourself. Yeah? Because we are very possible. It's just a word too. So what does it mean to be you? What does it mean to have focus and knowledge and to become centered within yourself? What does it mean to breathe? What does it mean to bring things towards you where your discipline is? What is your discipline in your professions, in your companionships, in your homes, and in your lives? See, motivation, meditation, and inspiration are just reflections of focus, knowledge, and discipline. So are we utilizing these on a daily? Are we utilizing these in a way which nobody else does? For positivity, to uplift other people, to understand things like Newton's third law, to understand how society has been built, to be able to be a light within this universe, to be a part of this great path that we are on. See, this is what it means to me. And when you're uplifting other people because you're so disciplined, you will see others become and see their reflection of inspiration from within you. See, when you are so disciplined that you are becoming yourself, that you are becoming your being, you will inspire other people as well. And that means you're a blessing. That means that you are a light. That means that you are using light within yourself, that you are utilizing light within your being. And when you use that part of your purpose, challenges is just what's going on inside. Challenge is just what's going on within your being. See, the daily is to become yourself, to become something great. To become something more than what goes on around you. So how can we inspire each other? How can we find a way beyond the challenge? One way is by using universal positivity, by using universal ability, by using what comes from within and allowing it to radiate outwards, by seeking out from within ourselves, by seeking out this path and this journey. Might this video show a reflection of how we can better ourselves, how we can better our beings, you know. Sometimes we get stuck on things that we don't even realize. We go through challenges that we don't even understand. And if we can focus to the point where we become a place of discipline, then we can spend more time overcoming and believing in ourselves and in our dreams and in our purposes. What does it take for you to realize your value? What does it take for your purpose to take root? To take place, to have purpose, to overcome challenge, to manifest within your being. So here we are today, focusing to that point, focusing to that place where we do utilize that part by uplifting other people, by using what the universe gives us with and sharing it with others, by sharing our gifts, by sharing our talents. We become tested, we become manifested, we become within, we become blessings across the face of the planet. And when we do this, we start to seek out part of ourselves, you know. And we start to seek out things that open us up and open up our ability, that give us the ability to overcome challenge, you know. I hope you all are blessed out there. And I hope that your path journey brings you closer to your goals. I just want you all to recognize that you have what it takes as I close. I just say blessings, blessings. As always, blessings and namaste.